first session ni belum warm up lagi depan ni kan, but some of them are familiar already, right, with WOW, right? So hopefully
you expect to see some of the student from last year juga kot.
Yes.
For this year.
Yep.
Okay. Cuma apa nama, when I was discussing dengan Dr. Juliana, Dr. Aimi, and also another doctor from UMT that we would like to get involved in this WOW program. The scope tu from primary school to university, so nak the range tu besar ya. So be a challenge jugalah to address when we can do tak nak too technical to satisfy the university, and then too basic for the sekolah rendah kan.
Yeah, I think that today is a very interesting topic lah, because more of the intro part. Okay, the content that you'll be presenting are mostly very direct content to the participants, whereby it should cut across all three categories lah. Okay, so even for universities, it's not too technical because universities are producing an animation. You see, so the ideas that they may get from your content can be used for their animation projects lah. Okay. Right. I think we are at 10 o'clock mark already. Maybe they're still joining in, some of them. Okay. So maybe we can give them another 2 or 3 minutes before we start. Boleh kah?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we have Mr. Narullah in our audience from UPSI.
Assalamualaikum, Cik Munir.
Salam.
How are you?
Good, Alhamdulillah.
How's Rampin?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Since the Rampin last 2 weeks. Just for the info, the rest of the team dalam WOW ni, Noru is an avid angler lah. Dia punya team champion PBIC 2019. Team yang dia bawa masuk PBIC.
How big was the fish?
It's not based on the size, it's based on the count of the fish.
The numbers.
The numbers, yeah.
Oh, numbers, bukan length or weight.
Oh, bukan. It's based on the number of fish you can catch within 2 days.
Nurul is also a writer. Dia ada fishing punya blog online. And also researcher dekat UPSI ya, Nurul?
Yes.
InsyaAllah the team UPSI will be with us lah selepas ni.
InsyaAllah.
Okay.
Oh, I see one of our champion teachers also in the list, Madam Nalini. Madam Nalini, good morning. One of the very dedicated and champion teachers that we have.
Champion teacher from?
Used to be at SK Sri Bintang Utara kan, Madam Nalini. Now just shifted.
Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm in Selangor School, one of the schools in Selangor, SK Ampang Campuran.
Oh, Ampang.
Yeah. So I thought of starting something new in my new school.
Yeah, you just shifted, madam?
This is my 2nd year.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this is something new for my this school. So thought of starting it something small for the beginning.
Yeah, we
Second year in new school,
we supported you at SBU.
Yeah, I think is there anyone joined from SBU?
I don't know. I've sent the list to let me see SBU. Mr. Cikgu Ng B. Ling.
Oh, okay. She has retired actually.
Oh.
Okay, maybe I will have to share the information to the schools.
Okay.
School new teachers. Okay. All right.
Thank
you.
All right. I think let's start the session so that we can maximize the time. When the kids keep on joining in, they will admit them, no problem. All right. First of all, thank you everybody for taking your time off on this busy Saturday. All right. We are going to kickstart our WOW 2022 project. Just a little bit overview. WOW 2021 was a good success. Right, we had 554 essays that were submitted, right, from 88 schools throughout the country, right. So it was a big, achievement for everybody, and most of the, I would say, for the 50 best essays that were produced, they all came from sekolah menengah, students of sekolah menengah. So what happened was that when we reviewed the for WOW 2022, we were requested by KPM, right, to again do WOW 2022, and we decided to expand it to 3 different categories. Okay, so we have now a sekolah rendah category where they do a short 300 to 400 word newspaper article, right. The sekolah menengah category, we still maintain 800 to 1,000 word as a short story, and a Institute of Higher Learning category where they do a 3-minute animation on with the same theme of marine conservation, right? Just that for 2022, we now made it mandatory that they have to have an element of billfish in their story for all 3 categories. Whether the billfish can be a main character or the billfish can be a sub character, the billfish can be a plot, in any way whatsoever, right? There must be some form of billfish in the essays or in the animation, right? So that it's relevant to our stakeholder, right? Which is MALCONS and RBPIC. Okay, so we hope that this is going to be another exciting project, and we look forward to see support from teachers to promote this, and we get a lot more submissions. USM will still be our partner for the preliminary judging, right? And they also look forward to see a lot of number of submissions, right? Because they were impressed actually. They were impressed with the quality of the essays received. Yeah? All right, so without taking much more time, I hand over the first session to Cik Munir, right, which is going to talk about, MALCONS RBPIC. Then we proceed with the 2 professors from UIA, right? Cik Munir, all yours. Munir, you're on mute.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Izani from ETS Malaysia, for this morning session. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay. Okay. We are here today for the second round of WAW, Be Ocean Warrior, which was started in 2019 from table discussion with Mr. Izani. We just talk about it and go through it. Hey, why not we start this? ETS can promote English, and my side we can promote billfish conservation. And then we have WOW. WOW is the name WOW is was come up by Mr. Izani and his team from ETS. Okay, and we are very fortunate to have ETS with us to support this fight for marine conservation. There are not that many companies who are prioritizing ESG, environment, social and governance, and SDG, social sustainable development goal in their business policy. But we are fortunate to have ETS with us to support this this program. Looking forward, ETS has 160 countries present in 160 countries and about 900 locations, if I remember correctly. So there's a potential for us to bring this WOW to international level, and we get more publicity, more exposure to our billfish conservation and marine conservation in Malaysia. INOCEM, Institute of Oceanography and Maritime Study, will be starting the workshop session this year with us. We have 2 lecturers from INOCEM. INOCEM participated in RPBIC 2019. For those of you who doesn't know about RPBIC, I would like to share some slides. Okay. This is RPBIC. RPBIC is Royal Pahang Billfish International Challenge, RPBIC. And this year we have the event on 16 to 18 September. This is an international fishing competition event, which is recognized by Malaysian Tourism Ministry, MOTEC, as one of signature international tourist event in Malaysia. So after this event, we set up a MALCON, Pahang Marine Life Conservation Society, because we noticed that the numbers of billfish has declined in alarming decline in numbers of billfish between 2016 to 2019. The number of catch recorded during RPBIC is reduced by 70%, meaning that we caught about 400 plus fish in 2016 during RPBIC. Now 2019, we only have less than 200 total number of fish landed by all the team. We have 39 teams from 14 countries in the last RPBIC event 2019. So if you need to do something about this billfish, otherwise we will not be able to have this billfish in Malaysia. Billfish is a migratory species. It's a migratory fish. They're migrating from North Sea to stop by in Malaysia and move to Australia and New Zealand. I think the detail will be presented by INOCEM later on. Okay, so we are also fortunate to have INOCEM participated in RPBIC 2019. They have set up a booth during the event to promote marine conservation. Mainly at the time, they are more focused on waste that we put into our ocean that affecting marine life. We have many discussions with INOCEM after the event, after the event, after the first RPBIC, after RPBIC 2019, and from the discussion, INOCEM has identified 7 technical research to help us save billfish. And today we're going to have 2 researchers that look into 2 different areas to do billfish conservation. We have with us Dr. Juliana and Dr. Juliana and Dr. Aimi from INOCEM today. Basically, both Dr. Juliana and Dr. Aimi are researchers with INOCEM, and Dr. Juliana focus on more policy and legal aspect for marine conservation. She's doing a social study. In fact, yesterday she was in Rompin also to collect some sample from locals over there. And Dr. Aimi is more focused on biology part of the fish numbers. And she also has some grand billfish stock assessment in Pahang for her study. Okay, without delay, any further delay, I would like to welcome Dr. Juliana and Dr. Aimi to take over the floor and share with us the information for billfish conservation. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum. Floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Let me share my slide first. Okay, my name is Dr. Juliana. Thank you, thank you Encik Munir and Encik Izani from the TOEFL organizers invited us to talk about billfish conservation effort that we try to do in Pahang from our part. Okay, I'm also a researcher from INOCEM, part one of the Center from Kuliyyah of Science in International Islamic University in Malaysia. With me is Dr. Aimimuliani, like introduced by Encik Munir, that we have different parts of research from the Billfish component, but my part is all about the socio-economic studies. Okay, just a little bit about our university and institutes. The audience is from the primary school and also university student, right?
Primary, secondary to university.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too technical things, that not too detailed on the scientific part, but just on the surface about the Billfish story, why we start to do these kinds of research, why the conservation efforts on the Billfish, and then just a little bit about the IIUM and INOCEM. And then we start to the introduction about the Billfish conservation efforts, started with by the MALCONS, and they asked us to collaborate to do these kinds of research. And then we're going to have a break to test our student knowledge on the Billfish. We'll talk about the Billfish information, share the knowledge on the Billfish, and then we are going to test their knowledge and to have some short quiz. Nanti I will share the link so that the student will fill in the form and answer all the quiz in the form, and then we'll announce the winner after that. Maybe after this event, because we need to sort all the winners' answers, and then I will be continued by Dr. Aimi to talk about the research activity so far that we have done for the Billfish conservations. Okay. First of all, I would like to introduce our university, International Islamic University of Malaysia. We are one of an international award winner for the Institution for Sustainability. We focus on the SDG 14, Sustainable Goal Development. Number 14, Life Below Water. I would like to play the video about our university started in 1983, and then we have Kuliyyah of Science and medical programs in Kuantan campus. We established in about 1997, and the Kuliyyah of Science in 2000. Okay, this is our university. We start with the economy, legislations, policies, course programs in Gombak campus, and then we continue with the medical program in Kuantan campus. Okay. And then this is our Kuantan campus, mostly based on medical program, nursing, dentistry, Kuliyyah of Science. We have also Kuliyyah Allied Science that focus mainly on the science programs. But in Gombak, we focus on economy and social science program, and in Kuantan campus, we focus on science program, especially medical program, nursing, dentistry. And then we have my Kuliyyah of Science, and then we have Department of Marine Science. Most of public, when we ask about, when we talk about marine science program, they didn't know about our departments. Then this is actually we have Department of Marine Science in Kuliyyah of Science in Kuantan campus. Not only medical program, not only nursing, dentistry, but we have also study on chemistry, on plant science, biotechnology, and also the marine science. We do the conservation efforts. We have coastal management. We have the coastal information system studies, and also and very important is the aquaculture study from the departments of marine science. We have so many experts, this kind of backgrounds. Okay, so if any of you want to further your study after this, you can consider Department of Marine Science programs, the Bachelor of Marine Science and Technology as your, you can consider this program if you want to further study in Marine Science program. Okay, from Kuantan campus, 40 kilometers away from Kuantan to the seashore area is we have INOCEM research stations. These stations, these research stations started in 2003, located at Ceruk Palur. mainly we do not only the aquaculture and marine science not only focus on the teaching and learning, but also in the research study. Mainly the journey start when in 2002 when Dr. Mahathir Mohamad showed that interest in addressing study related to oceanography study, first based in Langkawi, then we start to have launch our research center in Ceruk Palu, and then our studies our research not only on oceanography study but also aquaculture, and we try to collaborate with other institutes and also research center with governance service to have collaborations, how to improve and to focus for the seafood security in the future. And also we engage with our students and local community to have like educational camp ataupun summer camp with our students, with the local primary and secondary school students. And then we have like a program with not only the school and primary school, but also university student, and then how to have the awareness and educations on the marine science, how to help to conserve the fishery resources, to conserve the marine environment and also the resources in the marine resources especially. We want to make sure that students from the primary and secondary school know that marine science also is very important in the future. Okay, because some of the marine resources is very important for the seafood security as our main protein sources. Actually, not only the land, not only the poultry animal, we also focus on how to create or to preserve the seafood security in the future. And then we want to educate the early or the youngest local community, especially to make sure that they care about our marine environment, because like we do like we initiate with public program like beach cleanup, and also campaign with the students about to save the marine life, especially turtles or anything that related to marine life conservation. And also the main important marine environments, the coral reef, especially we have the experts and researchers that do about the coral reef research, and then how to we engage with the public about these things. Okay, then we have the marine school. Marine school, basically we have so many collaborators in this kinds of to establish this marine school, especially to deliver the awareness that I mentioned before, awareness and knowledge on the beauty of the marine life and the world surrounding it, because we want to make sure that the youngest generations know about the importance of the marine environment, protection, preservation of the marine world being the basis of the marine school environment. We had the Dr. Zahir that initiate this program of the marine school, and then we try to engage so many collaborators about this thing, and then we educate the primary and secondary school about these things. We had the camp that I said before, summer camp, like summer camp that we educate the youngest. Okay, a little bit about the marine school. This is the video part for the school for the sustainability. This is our INOCEM. Our INOCEM is located by the seashore. The education and leadership outreach we established for the English camp, especially initiated by Dr. Zahir juga. Kalau tak dia sampai dekat mana? Dekat laut. Tahu pun. Lepas tu, dia mati. Sebab apa? Sebab tu kena mati. Okay, this coming September, we have coastal international coastal cleanup. If you stay by, if you stay in Kuantan, Pahang, you can join us to have these kinds of, to join this event to clean our beach at the Ceruk Palu area, so that we can educate also the youngest about to make sure that we have cleaner beach in the future. Okay, just that the Marine School, other project, we also working on the ocean climate change. We want to know that the effects of sea level rise to my part on the socioeconomic study to the local community, and also the income, the impact to their incomes, the daily incomes because of the sea level rise. And another project is related to empowerment of the fish production project. Is a joint venture project between IIUM and also MALCONS. And then we have these kinds of conservation efforts that I will tell you about this thing in this today. Actually this billfish conservation efforts initiated by Munir from the MALCONS and also Global Tech. They asked our help to join them to conserve the billfish because of the number of billfish declines from the previous event. And then what we can do, because before this, most of our research is based on coastal management, aquaculture things. And then we have some on the fisheries conservation, but I'm not a fish expert, but for the social economic study, yes. We are eagerly to join this kind of collaborations to know why the billfish in our, because you know that billfish is actually not popular, not a demand by the local community actually, but it's very important for the LPBIC because it's very popular among the recreational fishers. And then it create and generate income to the local community, right? So we want to make sure that the local fishermen or the local community will have the alternative income, not only focus on the harvesting fishery resources, but also for they have other alternative to generate income, especially from the recreational fisheries. So to make sure that we have the opportunity, like the billfish migrating from the northern to the southern parts, and then they rest at our waters, Rompin area. So this will be our opportunity to study more on the billfish. We want to create a baseline data for the billfish in our country, and then we can contribute the data for the world, especially to make sure that we know the patterns of the migration, why they resting in our area, because why? Because of types of foods, maybe because of the sea temperature at the area, or because of the our geological structure, ataupun seabed structure in our Rompin waters. Okay, this is very like we said, that we can contribute the data not only for our country but also for the world's database. Okay, I would like to test if there's especially for the school children, which is the fastest animal on earth, if you know, among the animal that you know on this planet, the animal land and also the sea animal, which is the fastest animal on the in our planet? Anyone to volunteer to answer the question? We have a primary and secondary school, right? The Encik Munir mentioned earlier. I hope anyone can volunteer to answer.
Yes, we do have students from primary and secondary school.
I just want to create engagement with the students.
Yeah.
So that not boring to hear about this talk. Anyone to volunteer to answer the questions? So among these animal, land animal, which one is the fastest animal? Is it lions, cheetah, tiger? Which one?
Cheetah, I guess.
Yes. And then the sea animal?
Sailfish.
Yes. I think that the audience who answer this question is not from the primary and secondary school, right?
I just checked the participants for this morning. You don't have that many people
Yes,
from the
true.
school.
The answer is cheetah. I'm not the expert in the animal, but the average speed for cheetah is about 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. And then while for the billfish, the fastest that I have read about this study on the billfish, the fastest is 100 miles per hour, less than 3 seconds. So you know that, is it same with the Bugatti? I'm not sure, but you know that it's a very faster sea animal in this planet, the billfish. Okay, it's very unique animal in the oceans that we want to study. It's very it's not like ikan kembung or mackerel, tuna-like species, because we can know about the behavior, easily to catch, to harvest about this kind of fish, but not billfish. Billfish, especially the blue marlins, it's not easy to catch and to study about these kinds of. We need more budget to have this kind of study to get the baselines of this about the billfish, especially to know their speed, their populations, their diet from the study on the stomach content, and then and also the modeling on the sea surface temperature. Is it because of the sea surface temperature that attract billfish to our waters? Okay. Locally named for the billfish is a general name. We have so many types of billfish actually. So we call this ikan layaran for the local name, mesuji, and also some local call it as suji, ikan mesuji, and also ikan layaran. Okay, species that from my conservation with Dr. Aimi and also Encik Munir, that mostly types of billfish that we found in our water is black marlin, striped marlin, also Indo-Pacific marlin or Indo-Pacific sailfish that we can mostly catch in our waters. I don't have that kind of experience to catch ataupun to join the recreational fisheries, but from the from the conversation with the Global Tech, they say that three types of species mostly found in our waters. Previously, during the LPBIC, mostly of the types of fish, types of billfish found is the sailfish types, or the local people call it as ikan suji or ikan masuji. Okay, they migrate from northern to southern, and then rest at our waters, drop by at Rompin for resting and feedings, because the northern and southern parts, they move from summer area, the high, not so high, but something like warm sea temperature from the northern part to the southern part. Then because of the fastest and the speeds of this billfish, they can migrate from one area to another area. They don't have that kind of problems. And then they brought by like rest and our RNR in our Rompin waters for resting and feeding. And then most of the local people say that it's not because of not like a high demand types of fish in our market. Some of the billfish sold in our market about 1 ringgit per kilo, and some during the high season, some of the locals say that they can reach until 10 ringgit. One of the fishermen said that it's about 10 ringgit, but during normal seasons, like about 2 or 3 ringgit per kilogram. Okay, this is the three types, and I mentioned black marlin, Indo-Pacific marlin, and striped marlins. For the recreational fishers, especially the Global Tech team, the recreational fishers, maybe they know more about this kind of fish. But for the school children that ataupun the youngest, this is the three types of billfish that are normally found in our water. Okay, why we start ataupun initiate to collaborate with the Global Tech and also RPBIC? We want to collect data, baseline data, the landing, because it's not easy to catch this kind of speed, this kind of fish, kan? So we need to know the exactly numbers. We want to say that reduce, yes, it reduced, but the exactly numbers from time to time, the real numbers because of the declines of the billfish. And then we want to know more the fish diet. We do the stomach content analysis to make sure that what types of fish. We know that billfish actually their normal diets, they eat mackerel, tuna-like species, some crustaceans, and then more to the pelagic types of fish. Okay, they didn't eat plankton for sure, because it's a very large fish. And then the timeline, the life, their size also are very bigger that they will consume the pelagic fish types of fishes. Especially in our water, we have the tuna-like species like mackerel, the local name of ikan like ikan tenggiri, and so their diet too, they attract the billfish to our waters. And then if the billfish numbers in our waters declines, okay, it will affect the local and tourism local tourism and economy, especially at Rompin area. We have studied between Kuantan and Rompin local community, especially the fishermen, said most of the local in Kuantan, they didn't care about the billfish, and they didn't have any types of regulations or like fine or regulations that related to billfish, and they didn't care about the billfish. That's not high demand in their market. But for Rompins, as far as I know, that most of the fishermen said that they are illegal to catch, to bring the billfish to their fishing port, especially the LKM port lah. So if some of the fishermen found guilty catch or bring the billfish at their port, at the fishing port, they will be fined with about 10,000 ringgit. Isn't it, Encik Munir? 10,000. Some of the fishermen told me, as fishermen at the Rompen area, told me about these things. So they have the kinds of awareness and also regulations on the billfish, but not quantum. That's why most of the billfish, the bycatch is not a targeted fish in the trawl net. So they will bring this kind of fish to Kuantan area to sold the fish at the Kuantan, but not in Romping. Okay, this if the because of the bycatch activity actually will affect the billfish populations on our water, actually, not only because of the fishing activity, but also from the bycatch activity, okay, from the trawl net. Okay, it will affect the local tourism and economy, because you know that LPBIC from the previous study said that it's create or generate income about 80 billion or 80 million, if I'm not mistaken. So
previous study was 18 million.
Yeah, 80 millions. Okay, it's quite a large number for the local economy. You know that most of the fishermen there mostly depending on the marine resources, harvest the fisheries resources at the area. But if this RPBIC continues, they will also have other alternative income. So we also generate their income from the recreational fisheries. Okay, that's why we want to contribute and to collaborate with the Global Tech and MALCONS about this event. So it's just a basic knowledge on the billfish. We have the biggest type of the black marlins. You can see the comparison between humans and the black marlins. It's up to 1,543 pounds. The largest, the largest blue marlin, if I'm not mistaken, that Encik Munir shared me about this thing, from 2012, if I'm not mistaken, 350 kilogram. It's quite big black marlin. Black marlin kan, Encik Munir?
It's a marlin. It's not 2012. It's way before that. It was caught and reported in newspaper, but I think somewhere in Johor.
Yeah.
370 kg.
So you can see the different size of the human and also marlin that can be found. Not only in Malaysia but also other areas, especially in Miami Beach, Florida. In US, we have that kind of regulations, Billfish Act, which means that no one can catch or have trade with the billfish at United States. They will be not the billfish trading only can be allowed for the traditional activity, the traditional fishing only, but not for the commercial fishing. But that thing, regulations not applicable, not yet in our Malaysia. So this kind of study, especially the conservation part, when we know the baseline of data, the populations, their diet, their the reproductive or the biology of the fish, we have that kind of baseline of data, then we can go further for effective actions for the management of the for the billfish. Maybe we can have a very proper regulations and also policies about billfish in our waters, not only in Pahang but also for Malaysia generally. Okay, then distributions from the fish base. Why they move from the northern part to the southern part? Because of the warmer of our seawater. They will because of the speed of the field, they can move easily from the northern part to the southern parts. This is the seasons. Mostly from our research, Dr. Ami will explain further the season that mostly found from January to December, which month we can see the high numbers of billfish found in Kuantan port, Kuantan punya fishing port. Okay, this is the picture that I found from the newspaper, from the websites about the black marlin found 350 kilograms, very big fish. Okay, why we want to make sure that we do this kind of conservation, we want to make sure that the local community especially get benefits from the recreational fisheries competitions, especially because the local community said that high numbers of visitor or recreational fishers come to their area, and then high numbers of rentals, boat rentals, high numbers of visitors come to their area, and then will generate other small medium business in Rompen, especially. They will not. I know because after the PKP, the fishermen from Kuantan, from Rompen said that the numbers of the fishes to increase because they want to catch, they want to do the recreational fishing activity at Rompen to try to do the recreational fishing at Rompen area, especially for to fight with the billfish. I don't know that the current situation, maybe the recreational fish know more better me, because my part is more to the social-economic study. And then the objective of our conservation and preservation, especially to protect the highest predator. You know that not only whale or shark you need to protect, but also the billfish, because they're the highest predator. Big fish, carnivorous, and they are the highest predator in our in the food ecosystem, in our marine ecosystem. So we need to protect the highest predator to make sure that the lowest the smallest producer, the primary, not only the primary, the heavy, the low level of the, especially the pelagic fishes too, can be protected juga, because it's the high demands of fish in our market. And also because of the mercury in the fish, we want to study the mercury content in our fish. You know that as the fish getting bigger than bigger like shark and swordfish, especially or billfish, the mercury level will be higher, and then this thing will affect human if they consume this kind of fish. Okay, and also to generate recreational fishing powers for the coastal economy, because you know that from the recreational fishing will generate other small medium business juga. And then we want to attract other ecotourism activities. They come to Malaysia from outside ataupun from other country, not only for the recreational fishing. Maybe we can attract them to others ecotourism activity, like our Rompen national park, or go to our Kuala Lumpur, for example. And also can generate ecotourism activity, other ecotourism activities. All right, this is the first objective, second, and fourth. Okay, how are we going to we are not doing the the technical parts, collecting data and collecting respondents' opinions, perceptions on the billfish, but we want to also at the same time educate the youngest and also the local community about this fish. And then we want from the baseline data, the data that we get from this study, from different parts of the study, we want to make sure that we can establish marine protected area. In our country, we call it as marine park, like a marine park in Tioman. You know that Pulau Tioman is our marine park, kan? So we want to create another marine protected area that focus on the billfish conservations. Previously, we want to do the LPA at around Rompen waters, because but there's no exact data about the populations or the spawning area at Rompen waters. But from this data, we can go further for the next actions, especially for the marine protected area establishment. The marine protected area is in our country established under Fisheries Act 1985. We have the Marine Park Order. Marine Park Order ni will establish the marine park. Before we establish a marine park, we need a very concrete baseline data that we are going to protect, to preserve this area because of what? Billfish. And then why billfish? Because they have a spawning area. And then if that area have a spawning area for the billfish, and the population is higher, the SST is there, the plankton, because the high plankton at the area, so we can convince the policymakers about the marine park establishment. Marine park establishment is about 2 nautical miles from the established islands. Okay, like Pulau Tioman. No activity, especially throw nets or whatsoever, allowed at within the 2 nautical miles study. So we hope that this kind of study can end with this kind the marine protected area in Jawa Timur, in our Rompin waters. What? Macam ni?
No, facilitate the marine protected area establishment for Rompin.
Yeah, true. Because or we maybe we cannot reach until the main part. Maybe we can do something like protect the area from the troll nets boats coming to the area, or if we have the seasonal closing area for at Rompin water, especially there are many types of conservation effort can be done, ended with regulations or policy things. Not only the marine park, but also we can do we close that area for for certain times to make sure that the billfish have time to spawn ataupun can be there in a longer time. Not only because of some of the challenge ataupun not only challenge. The biggest challenge for the billfish in our waters, the decline because of the bycatch activity. Dr. Aimi have the more info about this thing. From my part, for the socio-economic study, the local fishermen also said that some of the bigger troll net boats, usually size A, that should be like size C or size B, they enter the size the zone A area. Then dia macam kacau.
Wipe everything out,
If you know that this is types of troll net. Once they launch dia punya troll net tu dekat kawasan tu, most of the fish, coral reef, there are many types of troll net. Actually, sometimes illegal troll nets juga. They use the illegal troll nets at that area. So they will catch everything at that area into their boats. So termasuklah billfish will trap in the troll net. Because of local fishermen said that some illegal boats, illegal troll net was used by bigger boats. So they need some like very strict enforcement actually. Before we want to do the MPA, we want the government agency to have a very strict enforcement at that area, especially to avoid illegal boats coming to our waters. Okay, this is the marine park that I mentioned. Under marine park, the Marine Park Order 1994, within the Fisheries Act 1985, the objective to conserve and protect the biological diversity, the marine community and its habitat, to upgrade and conserve the natural habitat for the benefit, especially for the billfish. Before we want to preserve, before we want to conserve or to close the area for the MPA, because there will be no activity allowed at that area, we need to have a concrete data, baseline data on the billfish, and then we can establish specific management zone for that area within the 2 nautical miles. Okay, so our objective to determine level the awareness on the billfish ranking. My part, you want to know the opinions and respondents punya opinions, and then about the Billfish landing and trading among the coastal community, and also to do the campaign and spread awareness among the local communities. And then we have other part juga. We have the fish biology part. We do the analysis on the fish behavior, their feeding diet, or their diet, the stomach content of the fish. Once we get the fish from the SKIM pot, then we do the analysis in their stomach content, and then in the future, if we have budget, we want to do the reproductions biology of the billfish. Is either what types of maturity of the billfish in our water, which part, the stage of the maturity of the billfish that coming into our waters. And then we have the social science study. Some of the part is done by Dr. Aimi. We have Dr. Rashida do the fish biology part, the genetic profiling, to know the types of, we know that billfish have many types of billfish. We know that we can know by their appearance upon the morphology of the billfish, but we want to know the species. We want to to prove what types of species that by using the genetic punya study. Kita tak boleh, we can't assume that species by not only the morphology types, the morphology of the billfish. We want to prove the species by using the genetic study. And then we do the hydrodynamic. We want to do in the future the hydrodynamic modeling to know because some of the study of the billfish saying that types of water, the sea water temperature, the phytoplankton density in our water will attract more billfish to our waters. So we want to prove it's either because of the SST ataupun the plankton density in our water that could attract the billfish in our water. Then human consumptions by Dr. Fuad. Dr. Zahir do the hydrodynamic modeling. Dr. Fuad, our director, our head of department in the INOCEM, he do the basic topic toxicology study on the billfish to know that is it safe to consume billfish. Because some of the locals didn't eat billfish actually, but I found one of the shop that selling asam pedas mesuji ni kan. So we want to make sure that is it safe to eat billfish. We want to know the content, the toxic content in the meat, the fish meat.
Asam pedas mesuji in Kuantan or in Rompin?
Yeah,
suji asam pedas in Kuantan, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Suji and mesuji. So we want to make sure to know that is it safe to eat this kind of fish, like ikan kembung, like mackerel or tuna-like species, other tuna-like species. So they will also like added value in our study. And then with all these kinds of aspect, these kinds of research done by other, including the socio-economic study, the fish biology, social science, we compile it, and then we can go further with the law and policy suggestions to the policymakers to create zoning for the billfish water, for the billfish ataupun close season ke, or to do like a strict enforcement in terms of sport fishing regulations. We know that we have the catch and release regulations, but the strict enforcement maybe only in Rompin, but not other waters, but not other area. So we want to do that kinds of very strict enforcement on this thing to make sure that we achieve, and then we can have effective management for the billfish conservations. Okay, that's all for my part. Before we continue nanti with Dr. Aimi, I just want to share to do some like a short quiz. Do we have the students here? Because saya takut
I'm looking at 15 participants for our Zoom this morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we do the short quiz?
Do we have students in our participants?
Encik Munir, can we communicate with the audience in through YouTube too? Or how is it?
We are live on both YouTube and Zoom. But this morning what we're seeing more teachers this morning. There are some students, very few students this morning, but mostly teachers as well.
It's okay. I will share with you the form link to answer the questions.
Yes.
Can we have the 5 to 10 minute break to answer the question before we go? We continue with Dr. Aimi to talk about the current research status, the progress of our research activity.
How does it work? How does it work, Dr. Juliana?
Huh?
How does it work? You're going to put up the question or?
I just share the link that
Okay.
so the audience will answer the question through the Google. It's the Google form link.
Okay, do you have to do it now?
Yeah. So
Is that it?
so it will be a 10-minute break lah for the for the quiz sessions, and then we'll continue with Dr. Aimi. Or we can't to have a break between session.
Boleh, we can. No worry.
Okay.
We can have a break. You can do your quiz, all right? And then see if we have any participants for the quiz. Okay. No problem.
Okay, this is I share the link. So the audience can answer join the quiz by open up the link and then answer the questions in the quiz. Teacher can also join if you want, if you are interested to answer. Can you open the link?
Okay, I got to the Google page, the Google form page.
Okay.
Can we get organizer to put on the link also on the YouTube channel? Is there any possibility to do so?
I'll check with the administrator. We can put the link on YouTube.
All right, thank you.
This morning we didn't get that level of participant as we did last year. So in last year, first session we had like 200 participants.
Actually, inside the link there is a question, isn't it, Dr. Juliana?
Yeah.
So everyone can open the link and then they can answer the question. So and then after 10 minutes will be given for everyone to answer, and then we will sort out the one who answer the most corrected and then the fastest, and then we'll get a list of the winners.
Welcome Dr. Fuad to the session this morning.
So this is the quiz. Don't forget to fill in your details so that we can reach you after the session ended. Quite interesting quiz questions prepared by my colleague on the Billfish, some of the basic knowledge on the Billfish.
Dr. Juliana, this is a very interesting challenge.
Yeah, not only for the student but also for the for the adults.
Yeah, very interesting.
It's prepared by my colleague actually, Dr. Rashida.
Okay, very challenging. So, you know, you have to do research back and forth, and you have to pay attention to the sessions to be able to answer this well.
Yeah, it's true. We just want to make sure that the activity is interesting actually. I'm also amazed with the effort done by my by Dr. Rashida to prepare this all the questions. So everyone can answer the question. I hope you can. Audience who have more experience on the Billfish, especially at the recreational fishing activity, you might can answer these questions very well. So we have 1 minute left before we ended the sessions and continue with Dr. Aimi. The winner will be reached once we know about we have the winner list. We will reach the winner through email or through their numbers. So then we can, until we will select the best answer, they have the most correct answer and also the fastest submit their quiz answers. Then we apa yang hadiah Dr. Aimi? E-wallet voucher? E-wallet top up? Maybe?
Yes, I guess we can give e-wallet voucher
to the winner.
to the winner. Yes,
We know
correct.
that now everything can be buy online through e-wallet. So winner will receive e-wallet top up. Okay, I think we can end the quiz sessions. Baik, Dr. Encik Izani, Encik Munir, can we continue with Dr. Aimi?
Yes, I think we can continue. I'm still doing the quiz. Yes, we can
Select and sort all the winners
with
after
Dr.
this.
Aimi.
We'll announce the winners after this event. Actually, we don't we will not announce the winner through this talk.
All right.
Okay, I will share Dr. Aimi's slide.
Thank you, Dr. Juliana. All right, Dr. Aimi, the session is yours.
All right, thank you. Assalamualaikum and good morning. First of all, I would like to apologize because this is the best spot that I can get. Currently I'm in KL. So next to me actually is a LRT railway. So you might hear the sounds of the LRT quite often. So I would like to apologize for it. Okay, I guess I should start. I would like to, okay, thank you, Dr. Juliana, for sharing the slide. Okay, so as mentioned by Dr. Juliana, actually I'm one of the members in the IIUM Billfish Conservation Team. So actually Encik Munir was approached us. I know before that, I already went to the RPBIC in 2019. Actually, we set up the booth, so I was there. And actually during that time, we are not focusing on the billfish conservation, but we are focused more on the marine debris. So what we trying to tell people that to stop putting more on marine pollution, stop throwing all the cigarettes into the sea. Okay, so that what our approach during that time. And then later on, during I guess after the PKP, we was approached by Encik Munir from the MALCONS and the other team members. So they wanted us to be in the conservation team because what happened that as Dr. Juliana told us earlier, the numbers of the billfish actually is dramatically reducing. Okay, the numbers actually the number that the reducing number we get from the fishing tournament that conducted every year. Okay, so from that phenomena, so we see that okay, we need to do something. Although the billfish actually for the conservation status, billfish considered as a into a vulnerable category. Meaning to say actually is and is at least concern because it's abundant, still abundant in the their punya wildlife. But it seems like in our area in Pahang coastal water, the numbers of the abundant is reducing. Okay, from year to year. Okay, and billfish is not a fishery target. We don't consume billfish so much compared to other mackerel, compared to tuna, compared to other species. But then you must take note that this fish, what it can contribute to us, it contribute in other way because that's the only marine sport fishing that we have in Malaysia is a Royal Billfish International Challenge, which is in Rompet. So that's the only one that we have in Malaysia. And in 2018, it contribute to 18 billion. You just wonder one month event, but it can give you a lot of money profits, which can help local community. So we feel that we need to do something. Okay, not later but now. We need to start now, or else how we can know this species better. Okay, kalau kita macam perempuan between people pun when we interested to someone, so kita kena kenal dulu, get to know each other, get to know her background, kan? So then we know what is the story behind it, what is the things that we need to tackle. Okay, what is happening to this billfish? Either is they don't like our environment compared to before ke, or mungkin dia punya dia punya diet already reduced, kan, dah tak ada ikan for them to eat. So it's a question, so we need to find the answer. Okay, so as a starting point, what we did, actually I'm very fortunate, alhamdulillah, I'm the one who actually apply for the grant, research grant. So and alhamdulillah we get apa nama dia punya grant tu, we have a collaborative research grant together with UITM and also University Malaysia Pahang. Okay, to start with the project on the billfish. So what we did, the first study actually we done on the abundance and size variation of the billfish. So this is the second stage. Already on the second stage, I further do more on the diet composition, okay, of the billfish. Why we wanted to do the diet composition? Because from the fish that from the diet itself, we know whether these billfish either they come to our coastal area for feeding purpose or not. If you can see all the local fishes and squids are inside the stomach, in their stomach, so meaning to say they come here for feeding. So we have a lot of their ni lah delicacy, kan, local delicacy that attract them to come over. Okay, so maybe this is one of the factor that apa yang menyebabkan they started to reduce. Why? Because maybe the number of the fish that they like also reduce. Yeah, in the reality, in the real environment, so that they feel that okay, no more food here. Okay, we don't want to stop over at the Rompeng anymore. Then kita stop by at Singapore lah. Tak pun next time we stop by, kita straight away lah. No need to dia Rompeng is like R&R. Okay, rehat and rest and untuk dia stop by before they continue their journey to Australia. Okay, saya kata okay lah, next time kita tak nak lagi sebab Rompeng dah tak ada all the fish diet that they like. Okay, kita no more stop, we straight away go to Australia. Okay, we don't want that to be happen. So that's why we conduct this study. Alright. So today I will share with you some of our findings on the abundance, size variation, and diet composition of the billfish from the bycatch. Okay. I would like to highlight the bycatch ni. Bycatch ni meaning to say the billfish that been caught accidentally by the trawlers. Okay. So it's not a real number of abundance in real life, but it's partially reflected the abundance. Okay, from the bycatch you can know. Okay, maybe part of it caught bycatch and then part of the billfish caught during the tournament. All right, next slide. Okay, so today I will cover on the research objective and the hypothesis. Hypothesis actually what we are expected to get from the research, and then we have methods, how we conduct this research, and then lastly what's our findings. Okay, we go on the first part. So we would like to achieve 3 objectives in this study. Okay, first we wanted to determine their abundance through bycatch along the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, and then we wanted to examine the size variation. What are the size variation of the billfish caught by this method, bycatch method. And then lastly, we wanted to examine the stomach content. We do the stomach content analysis in order to determine what is the stomach content of the fish, so we can know whether this fish come over to Malaysia for feeding purpose or for other purpose lah. Alright, for our method, okay, we are doing our study. Okay, at the first step, at the beginning, we did our study at the IIUM Fish Landing Complex in Kuantan. Okay, maybe people wonder why Kuantan, why not Rompeng? Because Rompeng is the one famous with the billfish, and but then you must take note that, as mentioned also by Dr. Juliana, numbers of billfish landing in Rompeng, we can hardly get the value, the number. Okay, the figure is very hard to get because it's rarely been landed in Rompeng. Because in Rompeng they only caught it during the tournament or during the sport fishing. Okay, but not as a bycatch. But where else in Kuantan you can find the bycatch of the billfish almost every day. Okay, almost every day. So that's why we can easily get the numbers of billfish. So we think that, okay, why not we start in Kuantan first, and then we will do further in Rompeng. And very fortunate that when we did the research in Kuantan, we found that it was a lot. The number of sample of billfish is too many. So even that we feel like, okay, why not we just stick in Kuantan, because we need to go almost every day to get the samples. Although there are some restriction because during that time it was during PKP, so RMO, restricted movement order. So actually that's the limitation of this study, because some of the month we cannot go out very frequent, and then during that time pasar borong Kuantan ni pun there was also closed for people to go get fish. Okay, there will be a limitation for this study. Okay, so the sampling schedule was carried out in March to December 2021, and then this year we done it from March to July. Alright. Okay, next slide. In order to achieve the first objective for the abundance, what we did, we do field sampling. Okay, we went to the LKM Fish Landing Jetty. Okay, in order to collect the sample. So we went there very early in the morning at 4 AM. So we have to fight with other dealers because although the billfish is not a primary target, but still there is a high demand for the billfish. Okay, local people really bought this to sell it back. Okay, to in the market. Okay, so sometimes we need to fight with other dealers, so that maybe the numbers of the billfish that we get, number of sample, sometimes is very low. Okay, because it's not that there's no billfish. It's due to the high competition to get the sample. Okay, and then what we did, once we get the sample, we will ask the boatman where the location of the catch. Okay, because we wanted to know where this billfish was caught, so that we know the location, exact location. And then we will wait the sample, and then the fresh sample will be bring back to the lab fresh in ice box. Okay, because we wanted to do lab analysis to achieve or the other two objective of this research. All right. Next. Okay. To achieve this objective number 2 and number 3. So we did the laboratory analysis for size variation. What we did, we need to measure on the length. Actually, there are several measurement that need to be recorded. This one according to international there's Billfish punya apa conservation like foundation, that they already list down all the length that we need to take in order for us to share the database with other people on the billfish elsewhere around the world. Okay, so we need to follow this. So we take every single measurement that they already listed, but we only focus on the total length and lower jaw fork length. Okay, why lower jaw fork length was taken? Because most of the bill that we get, sample of the they don't have the bill because it's not complete. Sometimes they break down. Sometimes they I don't know, maybe they stuck it in the fish net. So we don't get the complete billfish punya sample. So it's either we get the total length or lower jaw fork length. Okay, in order to represent the total length of the billfish. And then after we measure all those morphometric length, what we we need to remove the stomach. Okay, we will dissect the fish and then we will remove the stomach. So what we do with the stomach, for the stomach, we need to do the stomach analysis content. We will cut off the stomach and then we'll get all the fish or any squids or whatsoever that we can get inside the stomach, because we wanted to see what is the diet composition of this billfish. Okay, as you can see in the figures on the right side. So on the upper side, that will be the stomach, and then the down part, that's the fish that we can get. Okay, that's the example for down part tu. Itu example sajalah yang that I can share with you on the methods. Okay, and then the diet will be assessed using the IRI, Index of Relative Importance, and then we will compare for the diet composition between the samples. Okay, as for result and discussion. Okay, in this study, from the bycatch, okay, we only managed to get one species, which is Indo-Pacific species, Istiphorus platyperus. Okay, but we couldn't manage to get any other species, and this is consistent with the data that we get from the IPBC, where the last species or the last marlin was observed in past 5 years, 2012. Okay, so there's no longer. But I heard recently from Encik Munir that some of the people, they managed to get marlin. Okay, but I'm not sure from where they get it. I mean, from where is the venue? Okay, where is the location they get it? But they managed to found marlin. Okay, so we hope we'll see in September nanti during the RPBSC, how is it, whether there is a marlin recorded or not. Okay. All right, next slide. So this is abundance in 2021. So it showed that there is increasing trend from March to April. So you can see highest one in April, but then it's like it's slightly going lower and lower. Okay, towards the end of the year. Okay. However, that's what I mentioned earlier. There was a restriction. There was a limitation of the study because during 2021 there was a RMO, restriction movement order. So most of the time, for example, in June, in July, we cannot go out to get the samples. Okay. But then this is the data that we get. Still, we need to. I guess we need to share. Okay, with you guys, so that we know how is it actually the trend of the abundance. Okay, next slide. Okay, for this year, okay, we only managed to get to start sampling in April, so we get like a really a lot of abundance. As you can see, a pile of billfish in the pictures. Okay, it was 36 billfish recorded in April, and then actually it's slightly very low number in May. Okay, and then it start increasing back in June. Okay, and then this study actually is still carried out, but this is the only result that I can show for the moment. Okay, next slide. So when we compare on the abundance that we get, okay, in 2009, actually there is a study done by Ahmad et al. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, by CIFDEC. Okay, they said that the billfish in Rompe occurred in July and August, and then lasted in November. Okay, in this study actually we found out that we assume that the billfish of the peak abundance of billfish occurred during the spawning season where sea surface temperature is high. So there is a relation between the abundance of the billfish with the sea surface temperature. Okay, with the temperature. Why? Because during the sea when the temperature actually high, okay, it actually trigger the occurrence of the plankton. The plankton will be a lot. Okay, when the plankton a lot, there will be it will attract on the tuna-like species fish. Okay, so this will be the diet of the billfish. So indirectly, actually, sea surface temperature attract the billfish by that way. Okay, when temperature high, plankton will be high, and then tuna-like fish will be high. Then it will attract billfish to come over because their diet is a lot over there. So they come over, and then they also peak during that time. The abundance will be peak. Okay, so that will be our actually that's our next plan. I already proposed for the grant to see the relation between the sea surface temperature, chlorophyll A or plankton, and with the billfish. So we'll see how is it. Hopefully we can get more grant, more money to this the answer for this situation. Okay, next, in terms of size variation, this is for the second objective. So the mean round weight of the billfish that we get is 7.3 kilo, with the heaviest one is 19.5, and the lightest one in 3 kilo. This one is for 2021 data. Okay, for the weight composition, it seems like most of the fish composed in the weight of 3 to 6 kilo. Okay, so this for 2021. Whereas next slide, for this year's study, it showed that the mean average of the average round weight of the billfish that was found is 12.8 kilo, with the heaviest one is 37.5, and lightest one, very small fish, 0.95. Okay, and then mostly the weight composition there was in group in the category of 5 to 10 kilo. All right. Okay, next. For the total length, okay, so average in 2021, the total length of the billfish that was caught is 141 centimeter, whereas this year we found slightly larger with the mean of 153 cm. All right. Next, lower jaw fork length. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes most of the billfish that we get, the sample that we get, they don't have a complete with their bill. So we need to measure lower jaw fork length in order to give to represent the total length. Okay. So in 2001, the mean will be 122 cm with the range of 89 to 175, and then in this year, we slightly higher, slightly longer. Sorry, 127.8 centimeter, and with the range of 61 to 212 centimeter. All right. So when we compare this study with elsewhere, it found out that the billfish that found in Rompen water was actually slightly smaller, slightly low in terms of their weight compared to elsewhere in Taiwan, Florida, and Mexico. Okay, and then for the size composition, it showed that most of the billfish that been caught through the bycatch methods were in juvenile or in early adult stage. Meaning to say, we assume that they came here to nursing their juvenile their kids. Okay, so they need to feed more, and before they come into the bigger size, into the adult stage, before they continue their migration to the Australia water. Okay, that's what we assume. That's why the third objective is carried up, because wanted to answer for this. So we wanted to see the diet composition. So next slide. As for the diet composition, actually this is still in progress. So I couldn't say more, but we have some of the early observation. So this is the content that we get from the billfish. Next slide. So the stomach analysis done so far. So from the observation, it showed that the content of the billfish consists of local fish such as mackerel. We have selayang, we have kerisi, and then we have tamban. So this proved that the billfish come over to our coastal water for feeding purpose. Okay, other than nursing tadi, it come for feeding. Okay, so we need to know more actually. We have a limitation. Apa tadi limitation number of sampling. Now it's a limitation in terms of money also. Okay, we have a limited number of grant. But then still, we still manage to get at least some information. Is a baseline data for the billfish, so that we can answer on the problem on the reduction of the number of the billfish that occurred during the RPBIC past RPBIC. Okay. So for this project, we will need to study more and more. Hopefully, more people, more NGOs come over, and then we will do collaboration with us. Okay, in order to do the billfish conservation in Malaysia. Okay, so I would like to thank my team members, Dr. Juliana, Dr. Rashida, Dr. Fuad, and also my spouse, who helped me a lot. Every morning need to sacrifice very early to get sample, and also my student, my PG student and my undergraduate student, who done all the lab analysis. Okay, so that's all for now. That's all that I can share. So I guess we will open for Q&A if there is any.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Yes, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Dr. Aimi. Okay, thank you. I think it's a very, very good presentation. It's very interesting for me. I think because over the past 10 years, I've been really, really active fishing for this sailfish. And then what you showcased today, I mean, from the data, somehow correlate with my experience as well. For example, if you look at this statistic, right, from the bycatch, and you can see that towards the middle of between April and August, I think the bycatch, the bycatch was at its lowest, right? And then in April it was really high, and then hopefully. And this research is still continue until the end of 2022?
Yes.
So hopefully that maybe later you could probably share what's the bycatch like from the month of August and all the way until October, because we believe that the figure will be very high. Because if like say if we get people want to come here to Rompin and fish, we will always suggest that, you know, the best time to come is always between March and April, because that's where we can really catch sailfish early in the season. And then we don't suggest them to come between May and the end of July, because basically sailfish were not around for Rompin waters. And then the best season is always between August and October. Okay, so it's really interesting to see this sort of research that you carried out. So I hopefully that you will able to continue and pursue more research regarding this billfish, and because I think for the Malaysian economy, it deserves an attention. It deserves to be conserved, right?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Narullah. I believe from UPSI just now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, from UPSI.
A lecturer in UPSI?
Yes, I'm a lecturer in UPSI.
In what field, you know?
From faculty business and economics.
Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. It's good for us to hear from some other people, especially from the anglers itself. Okay, because this data we got it from the bycatch. Okay, so whatever it is, whatever bycatch that we can get, so that's the result. Okay, but actually it's only partially reflected the real abundance of the billfish in the sea. But then actually what you told us, surprisingly actually it was like coincided a same phenomena, the same things what is happening, because we got this we went, like actually last year we went in February, but we couldn't get any kind of sample. Okay, no at all number of billfish, and then suddenly in March it was like a lot. April a lot, and then March, April is starting to get peak, and then suddenly it was dropped.
Yes.
Okay, and then suddenly again in July, late July, and then in August, July is still low. In August and September,
starts to pick up.
There will be the peak again. But unfortunately, last year we couldn't get that value. Okay, but in this year we see that trend, because in June and July we hardly get any billfish. Even when we asked from the other dealers whether they managed to get some of the billfish, they said no, they couldn't find any.
Okay. Because I think in early June, late May, we did go out in Rompin. We tried to look for sailfish, and then from the feedback from the captains there, it's really hard. It's really hard season now. So like I said, it correlates with what you've done. The result.
So actually, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting trend, the abundant trends. Okay, so we see how is it. Because we also waiting for the RPBIC this year, the data from there. So we would like to combine. And then actually this data is already published. Because I already went for the conference in early this year in Sabah. So we already presented this kind of data. So we hope that we can get another year abundance data on the abundance, so that we can see what is happening between these 2 years. How is the trend of the abundance of the billfish?
Maybe we can get data from anglers juga.
Yes. We really hope that we can get some data from anglers. Yes, correct.
The pattern as well.
Maybe if I may ask, why do you focus in Kuantan but not closer to Rompin? Like for example, Tanjung Gemuk, I think they have LKIM port there, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, we went there already in Tanjung Gemuk, but unfortunately, there's no billfish landing.
Because of the regulations.
Because of the regulations.
Even the private jetty, if there is landing in the private jetties, but still the number of the landing is still very low compared to the one that we can get in Kuantan.
Okay.
And then we believe that the billfish actually was caught Rompin towards the northern part.
Yes, true. Towards
because our sample, we get it when we asked to the fishermen where they got it. They got it either in Tenggol up to Terengganu waters.
True.
And then lower to the Kemaman. But not less than Kuantan waters.
Okay.
So that is it. When we do questionnaire, when we ask them, so they say that the billfish hardly can be caught Kuantan towards Rompin. But I guess you can get it when you do for sport fishing. Yes, you can get it.
Yes, true. I think because
but for
of
trawlers, it hardly can be fine.
I think for trawlers they have different spot good, and trawlers they target different spot. For us sports fishermen, we target. The usual location that we can get is just outside Rompin, and then if you have to go further up, all the way until Pekan area, and then I'm not sure, but there's a place called Karang Luas, it's slightly further up. So those are the usual location for Rompin. But to add on to the discussion, for example, marlin, right? Based on the catch report from anglers, right? Usually marlin, you can catch them. Like for example, this year there's been 2 marlin, very small. It's a black marlin. I think it's about less than 10 kg, very small. But it's only you're able to catch them during the early part of the season, between February and March. February and April. it's during the monsoon season. Okay, so usually during that monsoon season we have like a short break, okay, between the monsoon. It's like you have 1 or 2 days of calm water, and the anglers do go out, and then they catch a lot of fish. And then one of the bycatch that they catch was basically marlins. All right, and then I have experienced this in 2019. I went out in Perhentian. Okay, it was in February. We did caught one large black marlin, but we didn't able to land it. Okay, and then the year previously, in the same area, we also caught a black marlin. So the one thing that I mean, I'm not an expert in marine biology, but then again, I think there must be some sort of correlation where I think the sea condition somehow influence the presence of marlin in Malaysian waters. Okay, because I mean, for example, between May all the way until the end of October, it's hard to get marlin. But during the early part of that monsoon, or towards the end of the monsoon season, yes, you can catch them. So that intrigues me, right? And maybe you guys can, I don't know, try to do another research on this.
Yes.
Miami University did some research to do the comparison, to know the patterns of the sea temperature, the locations of the seabed area ataupun the location of islands and also the main islands, how they can influence the billfish population. That's why Dr. Aimi have tried to get grants on the study about the sea temperature and also the billfish populations, and to get that budget for tagging. If we can tag all the billfish that caught in our waters, to know the population and the migrations patterns in our water. Maybe after this, most of my parts, my respondents on the local fishermen, maybe after this we can, during the LPBIC, we want to approach anglers.
Correct.
The data can be get from the anglers itself about the location, the lot length of the lat long of the location they get
Catch.
marlin ataupun sailfish during the activities. Maybe they know better about the seasons, not only from the bycatch but also from the anglers. Kan kat mana macam Dr. Narwal tadi kata, maybe during early seasons, during during the warm the calm waters, maybe the population ataupun the catch of the billfish too different. They're showing a different trends on the billfish number.
Okay. So you guys will be in RPBIC this year?
Yes.
Okay, then I will see you guys lah.
Yes. What's all the info that Dr. Narwal gave us? Actually, it was a good information, very good information,
Okay.
and it's tailing with our finding.
Okay.
And then, and then we would like to hear more from the anglers. We really love to hear more, so that we know what is actually happening in at the deep sea. Because this is the only data that we can get from the bycatch. And
I see.
so to know more, actually to know on the ecology, to know more on their habitat, so that we can get more answer for the reduction of the billfish. So again, we can meet you later during the RPBIC.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll meet you guys there. Yeah, sure, boleh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
For sharing with us.
Okay.
Is there any more question?
I have one question.
Okay.
In US and all these other countries, they do will watching, dolphin watching, those kind of things. Do we have this kind of opportunities here in Malaysia? Do they see billfish just come out and and provide an opportunity for people just to go and take a boat, go out and see them?
I never heard any kind of billfish watching. But then they do go out for the sport fishing for the billfish frequently, very frequent, every year, throughout the year. But for the billfish watching, I never heard. I don't know whether maybe
we can initiate the timing.
Because you can
maybe we
US
can
and all those, there is a big tourism opportunity. But they have the seasons. You have to know the seasons. You have to know where the routes are and all those kind of things.
Similarly, like dolphin, all those things, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's something that
we guess we can take note on that. Okay. So we might need to advise on the tourism people on that thing. Thank you for sharing with us also. Thank you for the ideas. Anything else?
Maybe Cik Munir want to share anything? Like the Dr. Norullah share about his experience on the billfish catch during the sport fishing activity.
Munir, you're mute.
Kena unmute, Cik Munir.
Munir, mute.
Sorry, I just got back on this forum. I had a visitor just now. Okay, basically the main objective of this billfish conservation is not just to have billfish. No, the main part is for us to use this billfish to help generate income, to boost our economy. It's good to have billfish, but no, it'd be better if you have billfish that work for us. It helps us to get more boats, more people to own the boat, more hotels to be set up because more people came in. USA acknowledged sport fishing as an industry in 2019. It helped generate $89 billion in 2019. 89 billion for US. No? And then this billfish also is a bit tricky. Unlike other type of animals, billfish, as mentioned by Dr. Juliana, it moves like 70 miles per hour. So you cannot have billfish in captivity. You cannot study billfish in cage, billfish in pond because they will not survive. They need open sea to keep on living. So there's a big challenge, a huge challenge for researchers to actually understand and address billfish decline issues. So it's a big challenge for INOCEM, and we need all the resources that we can have from other universities as well. That's why we're trying to work with UMT or the USM, even UPSI like Mr. Norullah, to find ways, to find solution for us to address this. And inshallah, we may be able to get the economic impact like in Costa Rica, which is $600 million a year in 2008. If you divide that with our population, I think we can cut down the cost of living here in Malaysia. More fish and more money. Okay, that will be for me. And thank you for INOCEM, Dr. Juliana and Dr. Aimi for sharing with us this morning. Maybe we're gonna have another session for MALCONS. Once we have more viewers, maybe we invite to share some information again in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
To thank TOEFL community, Golbata and MALCONS inviting us to talk about billfish and our research study done in INOCEM and also Department of Marine Science from IIUM. Thank you so much inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zani.
Juliana, Dr. Aimi, and thank you all the participants. Today we have got 17 participants today. All right. Hopefully, we can get better crowd tomorrow. We're gonna have these sessions tomorrow with Teacher Shah. All right. Maybe interesting topic, how to write. Okay. So inshallah, I know as we publicize this more and more to kids, they come and get the information directly from you, right? From this workshop and from what we see on the YouTube channels. And hopefully we can see a very good essay. A very good essay from school kids, sekolah menengah, and we see our high learning kids also. I think as we progress, more and more of these kids are being exposed to this idea, exposed to this industry, exposed to these issues. We hope we can get better write-ups, right? And over time, hopefully, the conservation effort that we're doing will bear results. Okay, right. So with that, end the session. Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to see you tomorrow. All right. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
just to say something, Dr. Aimi, Dr. Juliana, don't worry about the lower number of audience today.
It's okay.
Because this session will be recorded and stored in the channel, so it will be a reference by those who want to participate. This will be a good information. At least we have the database of information that people can refer even after the 10th session of this workshop when they want to finalize their writing or their animation product.
Maybe we can have others, maybe other collaborations in the other workshop. Maybe
Yes.
Encik Munir can invite us.
We have a few. On the pipeline we have speaker from LADA who will speak on geopark. So once we have the slots or firm up, let's see if there's any available slots, I definitely invite you to.
All right.
Okay, inshallah. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.